Welcome to another episode of Before It Made Sense, where I share secular stories with you guys about my previous life when I was living for the world. Today I'm going to tell y'all a story that not many people know, only the ones that was there, about a time when I was this close to getting caught by the police, literally in arm's reach. Now, before I tell y'all the real story, I got to give y'all a little context, like a pre-story before the actual story. So growing up, I used to love customizing anything with a motor: go-karts, scooters, dirt bikes, cars. If it had wheels, I enjoyed working on it as a hobby. Well, where I grew up at in North Philly, in the West Kensington corridor, a couple blocks up from me in Fairhill Badlands, was my homies on Hancock and Cambria. Shout out to 450 Lex and Gmo and the whole gang. Well, they used to love doing the same thing. We had similar interests. They used to love riding dirt bikes, customizing scooters, building go-karts. The same thing. Great minds think alike. So I naturally gravitated towards the squad. We used to build together, talk bikes together, motors, pipes, parts, engines, anything. That was our relative interest. Well, if you're from Philly, you know that there's no legal place for us to ride dirt bikes. We don't have no tracks nearby. If you want to ride your dirt bike legally, you got to load it up on a truck and travel anywhere from an hour and a half, 2 hours away, pay toll, gas, plus the time to get there to ride safely. Well, a lot of us in Philly, we don't have that option to load up on a truck and go. We're not going to spend that money or that time. So we ride in the streets, the concrete jungle. Well, there was a time when I had a little 1995 Honda Accord, 5-speed, stick shift, little sedan. I was trying to do things the right way. I had a little YZ85 dirt bike and I wanted to ride. There's a spot in North Philly where it's not a legal spot, but people used to ride illegally on the weekends. It's called Beach Street, right off of Delaware Ave, right next to the 95 near Penn's Landing. If you know, you know. Back then, they used to drag race cars there, Banshees, dirt bikes, wheelies back and forth, and all that stuff. It was kind of like a little industrial block right behind a little warehouse next to the waterfront. Well, people used to go there and ride their dirt bikes on the street. And there was a little patch of, like, I would say grass. And I wouldn't say it was woods, but there was a little bit of greenery back there where you could ride if you wanted to. Mind you, it was private property, but it was open on both ends and everybody used to do it every weekend. They used to go there, race cars for money and all that. So I wanted to ride my dirt bike. I had just got that John. I'm like, yeah, let's like go out there. I told the gang, I told G, Lex, we was with a couple of people. I said, let's go ride on Beach Street. So we went back there. Mind you, this is the pre-story. This ain't even a real story, but I gotta paint the narrative so you understand the real story. So we go to Beach Street. I unload my bike from my Accord. You know what I mean? We go back there, we ride and we cooling. Everybody chilling, racing cars, riding dirt bikes back and forth. We minding our own business. We're off of at least the main streets. We're not riding through the city. We were trying. Give us effort for trying, right? So that little dirt spot that I said was next to Beach Street, but it wasn't really like street, it was dirt. It was behind some cement barriers. So I was back there. I'm like, it's a dirt bike. Let me go back there while everybody riding on the main street. Let me mind my business. I had my little Ray Charles black shades on, my little earphones, listening to music, cooling and grooving, minding my business. Boom. All I know, from the corner of my eye, I could see we was getting raided. The block, it was one way in, one way out, two entrances. They blocked them both off. Cops. It was like 20 cop cars. The block was getting raided. There was like 30, 40 bikes plus actual people who was racing cars. Everybody trying to evade the arrest. So me, I'm seeing it from the corner of my eye. Mind you, I had the Ray Charles black glasses on, so you can't really see my eyes, but you can tell that I'm like, there. So I'm riding my dirt bike. I see that a female cop, she's flagging me down, get over here. Get over here. What I look like? What's this, Mortal Kombat? And you Scorpion? Get over here. So I just ignored her and I kept riding. Like, I'm like nodding my head, like I'm just listening to music, dummy. I got earphones in my ears, bro. I'm not paying attention to you. So I thought I ducked off. I got away. I went through like the little grassy wooded area near the graffiti pier. I should have hid. If I knew then what I know now, I would have hid the bike, dropped it down, and waited till everything cleared off. But I came with people, and I was also like, I figured I came in a car. I could load this bike back up to the car and go home. I got probably like a mile or two down the road. Like, Richmond is right next to the waterfront, which was all greenery. It was like shrubs and weeds and all that. Anyway, so I got away. At least I thought I got away. I got off to like Richmond and Lehigh Avenue. I came down from the tracks, the train tracks, and I turned off the bike and I'm walking it under 95. And I thought I was like non-conspicuous. Like I figured I just walk my bike, put it back in the car, and go. Tell me why. A few seconds later, 3 or 4 cop cars came by Richmond, went right under 95. They circled me. They got me. They wasn't gonna let me go. I'm like, man, like they're like, hey, what are you doing? I'm taking my bike back to my vehicle. I came over here in a vehicular device, and I'm gonna load it back up and go home. No, you're not. You were riding back there, weren't you? I said, no, no, no. Then the female cop, somehow she popped up. She said, I told you to stop, and you didn't stop. I said, I had headphones on, and I wasn't paying attention. But y'all knew that. I did see her, but whatever. So long story short, about that, John, they took my bike. They took it. They confiscated it. I never got it back. They gave me an option to bail it out from the impound, but I bought it with a bill of sale, and a bill of sale isn't sufficient enough to take your bike out of the impound. So they auctioned it off. I lost that bike, never got it back, and I got tickets, right? So that was like a lesson learned. So throughout the years, I continued building. It didn't stop me from building my objects, but I rode differently. I rode more cautiously. Now this is where Lex and G come into play. 450 Lex was known for running from the cops. He used to ride a 450, a really big bike. A 450 is one of the biggest bikes next to a 500 that you can ride. It's like a beast, right? And he used to wheelie that jump, enjoy it. Like he was in the dirt, but he was riding on the streets. And he used to get chased by the cops a lot. So I remember the week before this actual story happening, me having a conversation with him, talking to him. He told me he just got into a cop chase around Luzerne, and the cop kept trying to grab him. He was busting circles, and the cop couldn't get him. So I'm like, damn, Lex, so when you get chased by the cops, bro, you just don't stop. You just keep going. He said, no, bro, listen, they go this way, I go this way. They go this way, I go this way. It's like cat and mouse. I don't stop. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, knowing then what I know now is like, they're going to take your bike, right? They're going to take it. Regardless, then you're going to get a bunch of fines. So he didn't want to lose his bike. So he always used to run. So I remember him telling me, Tune, you don't stop. Whatever you do, you don't stop. So now here's where the real story comes into play. So I had this CRF 150R. It was a Honda CRF 150R, 4-stroke. I had just customized it, new plastics, new seat cover. It said Tune on the seat. It had a graphic kit that I put on it, new grips. It was a nice bike. And CRF 150Rs, they were popular, right? And hey, I just customized that, John. You know what I mean? I think this is where I was living for the world. I was seeking validation. So I figured, hey, let me take my bike out. Let me go up to the block. Let me go out with the gang, you know what I mean? Show them the bike, you know what I mean? So they could see the sauce. Like, yo, dude, that John looked tough. So I got on the bike, and I don't know, in my mind, I wanted to put on a GoPro, right? I should have put on my GoPro with my chest strap. And I was going to face it to the back. God is my witness. I was going to face it to the back, you know what I mean? In case cops was on me, like they'll see the camera and they might not chase, right? But I don't know. I think I had the fiebre, which is the fever, and I just wanted to ride. So I took the bike out. I went to the back. I didn't put my camera on. I should have, because I would have had some viral footage. So I get on the bike. I had a couple blocks up the road. I figure it's not a long trip. It's a couple blocks up the road, Hancock and Cambria. And I'm just going to be out there with the guys. I was going to lean the bike against the building, row home raise on the row homes, and let them see the bike. You know what I mean? If you want to ride around the block, Lex, you know what I mean? This and that. So I get on the bike. I should have put on my damn GoPro. So I'm headed up the block. I'm like 3-4 blocks away from my home. I head to Lehigh Avenue. Now I'm on Hancock and Lehigh Avenue at this time. Lehigh is a really big avenue. It's not a street. I'm on one of the little small streets, Hancock. But Lehigh Avenue has double lanes going on opposing way, right? 2 lanes that way, 2 lanes that way. I'm on Hancock and Lehigh. I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm on my bike. I make a stop. Cars are coming this way. I wait for the car to pass, right? So I go to make my way to cross Lehigh. I see this green. It was like a hunter green Chevy Malibu, probably like a 98, 99, 2000, 2001. I don't know. It was the undercover John. If you know what I'm talking about, the undercover Malibu, tinted out, bombed out. I'm crossing Lehigh and they headed straight towards me. Like they're not going across, right? They're not going, what's that? Horizontal. They're going like vertical. They're coming at me. So rather than crossing Lehigh, my intuition kicked in, my reflexes, and I went around, like they went straight to me, the Malibu. They were gonna hit me or like try to pin me in. I didn't know who it was. I didn't know if it was like a car accident about to happen or something. The cop on the passenger side rolled down the window. I saw the badge around the neck. It was two undercovers. So I went around them. Hancock goes the correct way where I was going. On the next block, it was Palethorpe. Palethorpe comes towards me. It's a one-way. But in order to get away, I went up that one-way. So I realized the cops was trying to get me. So I didn't know if there was any other cops or not. I'm just trying to get away from that one cop. I go up Palethorpe, up the one-way, mind you, traffic coming towards me. I get to Somerset. Palethorpe and Somerset. On my right-hand side, which is Lex and G's block, on Hancock and Somerset, which is right before Cambria, there's a lot. It's like a municipal parking authority lot, but it's a lot that everybody in the hood park in. In that lot, I see 3 supermoto dirt bike cops. Meaning back then they had a task force that were police on dirt bikes too, but they were the street legal ones, a supermoto. I saw 3 of them. They saw me. Bro, I just continued going up Palethorpe. To Cambria. Now I'm on Cambria. Now I'm where I'm supposed to be. Mind you, there was that green Malibu on Lehigh. Those 3 supermoto cops, I didn't pay attention. I didn't look back for them. I was going straight. They probably came right behind me to go up Palethorpe. I bang a right on Cambria. Now I'm on the right side of traffic now. Cambria goes west to east. And now I'm going eastbound on Cambria. About to hit Hancock and Cambria, the block that I was supposed to go chill at the whole time. So I go on the sidewalk. I go to Hancock, right? There's a white Crown Victoria, another undercover cop. He drives right up on the sidewalk. He jumps out. Bro, this is where I was in arm's reach from being caught. He drives right up on the sidewalk. I dip around the car. Now I'm on the corner, Hancock and Cambria. I'm on the sidewalk. He's on the sidewalk. He swings his door open. He tries to reach for me off the bike. I don't know, my reflexes hit so fast. I juked him. I was like inches. If it would have been a foot difference, he would have grabbed me, probably yanked me off the bike. I would have fell and got booked for evading arrest. They would have took the bike anyway, right? But I just had that talk with Lex last week, and I lost the bike a few months before that. And I remember the conversation we had. Don't stop. Whatever you do, don't stop. So I ain't stopped. I rode right by that cop on the Crown Vic. So mind you, at this time, I had the green Chevy Malibu on me, 3 motorcycle cops in the area, white Crown Victoria. Again, when he jumped out, he was in a t-shirt with his little beaded cop badge around his neck, Caucasian gentleman. They weren't dressed like cops, they were undercovers. So, I go by him. He reached, he couldn't get me. I didn't look back, I didn't pay no damn attention. Now I'm right in front of Lex and G's house. Several people outside. Now, mind you, up the block, I see motorcycle cops. Behind me, I got the white Crown Vic. Who knows where that green Malibu's at? I'm where I'm supposed to be. Cops are chasing me, cops are chasing me. Open up the gate, open up the gate. There was a gate next to their lot that we used to all hang in. We used to chill at. That's where we used to work on bikes and all that. It was like, basically a row home was there, but the row home burnt down and it was an empty lot. And that was G and Lex's family's lot. So we used to open it up with keys and everything. G, go, get the key. Bro, I'm in the middle of the street and I'm like, I'm trying to react. G somehow, I don't know how, by the grace of God, thank you, G. Shout out to G. He got the key. He ran to the gate. I'm right there, bro. I'm trying to get in. I don't know, this happened so fast because I don't know how they didn't see me get in there. I guess maybe the Crown Vic had to go around the block. I don't know, bust a U-turn. I don't know what the story is on the outside. All I know is I was living with tunnel vision. Tunnel vision. I'm not looking left. I had the horse blinders on. I'm just trying to get away. It's because if I would have went up Hancock, which would have been up a one way, or if I would have went this way was the Crown Vic. Up that way is three cop bikes and the green Malibu. So I would have been on a high-speed chase throughout the city. My safe zone was right here where I was supposed to be. G gets the key. He goes to the lock. They all there. G's trying to unlock the gate. He said, snap, two. Boom, he got the gate open for me. Bro, I went into the fence, John. He closed the gate. He was trying to put the lock on it from what he told me. He tried to put the lock on it. I went straight to the back of the lot. I went to the alley, bro. There's an alley that connects the lot to his house. This was a fresh bike. At this point, I didn't care, bro. And I just dropped the bike there in the alley. I jumped over the yard, the fence. I went and knocked on the back door, and G and Lex's mom came out. And God bless the mom and the pop. They was always real cool with me. I said, I'm being chased by the cops. She said, come in. I went and bro, I was sweating 1,000 bullets a minute. Lex comes, he says, bro, what happened to it? I said, I was just getting chased by the cops. Lex, yo, my bike back there. Here's my title. I had the title. I said, here's my title. Bro, go outside, and just in case if they say that they want to take the bike, say that's your bike and here's the title. So I gave him the title. He said, yo, I was just on the toilet. He was busting a smash. So he didn't know what was happening. Only his brother, G, and all the guys from the block saw what was happening. Bro, I'm sweating. I go to his living room floor on everything. I'm not going to say on GOD, but on everything, bro. I throw myself on the floor and I'm sweating, bro. I'm sweating bullets. Like, everything just happened so fast, bro. Now, at this point, I'm like, damn, I hope they don't take my bike. So what they told me what happened, because I wasn't out there to see this portion of it, they said, yo, Tune, when I was trying to lock the gate, the cops came and they didn't let me lock it. They unlocked it. They swung it open. They went in there. There was like 2 cops. They went in there. There was obviously hobby projects that like we were working on. Lex had a shifter cart with a snowmobile. He actually had a snowmobile back there, and then he had the snowmobile motor on the shifter cart. He was building like a custom shifter cart with a snowmobile motor. It was on the ground, but the wheels was off and everything. So what they told me was that the cops went back there looking to see if they saw me or the bike. They didn't see my bike. Mind you, it was 15 feet up in the alley. So if they would have kept on walking all the way to the back and looked in the alley, they would have saw the bike thrown there on the side. But they didn't go that far. The one cop said, is this what was making that noise? Is this what you were chasing? He said, no. And they looked at it and the wheel was off. It couldn't have been that. And there was a tarp, like a 10 by 20 canopy tarp that I had actually got Lex for his birthday, like I think that year or the year before. It was like kind of like, it was like a fake garage. It was a plastic canopy, but we used to chill in there and all that and work on the stuff when it was raining. So they didn't go past. They didn't go to the back, thankfully. But no, that ain't it. All right, so they went out. Boom. So at that point, I'm looking out the window and I'm like peeking and everything. I'm like, yo, I see all the cops out there in front of the block. All the gang is out there chilling. The homies on my side and then the cops on that side. So I'm like, damn. And Lex is out there. Lex got the title in his pocket. So I'm like, damn. Yo, I'm hoping that they don't take my bike, bro. So I take off my shirt. It was like 7 minutes went by. They out there talking to him, asking questions. I take off my shirt. Bro, I take off my shirt. I go out there with no shirt. And I sit right on the steps. Shirtless, just chilling. That was dumb because who knows if the cop knew my face, but none of them registered my face because I was sitting right there. The gate was locked. G put the lock on the gate. To them, I vanished in thin air. Then I came outside and I'm just chilling right there, sitting between the gang, just chilling, minding my business. I'm the one that just went on that little cat and mouse, bro. The white Crown Vic was there, the cop that tried to grab me. I guess everything happened so fast, maybe in the heat of the moment for them too, they didn't register my face. All they saw was probably a hoodlum-looking individual on a dirt bike, and he just wanted to grab me, but he didn't register my face. And I'm just chilling, right? Now, this is where things get a little messed up for some random person. Some random person happened to be driving by on a YZ125, a dirt bike, a blue dirt bike, YZ. Guess what? He rode through on the wrong block. There was already all these cops there. They grab him. They stop him. They impound his bike. They didn't get me. They didn't get my bike. My bike's still laying there in the alley. They didn't get me, but they got some random, it was a Hispanic dude that just happened to be riding. He just happened to be riding by at the wrong block, wrong time. But then again, like I said, it seemed like the bike force was out that weekend. What happens is in Philly, sometimes there's a no chase, right? So you'll go several months where they won't chase, right? But then every couple years, somebody on a bike will hit somebody across the street. Maybe it'll be a fatal accident. somebody would vandalize, kick cop cars, and for whatever reason, they'll do something that ruins it for everybody else, and then they'll send out this task force on the weekends to go confiscate bikes. Well, this was probably around that time where I think somebody was crossing on 2nd Street and somebody got hit by a bike and dragged. So the mayor, the police, the chief commissioner, whatever, they put extra, effort into trying to apprehend these bikes. Bro, all I wanted to do was just go out there and show off my bike. I just wanted to chill. But that's what I get from living for the world. Kind of low key, I was probably seeking validation. I mean, it was a hobby. So when I build stuff, it's cool to have we all reflect, like we all look at it and be like, damn, that John cool. Damn, that John look tough. Damn, you should have did that differently. This, that, and the third, right? But I was gonna lose that bike. And listen, I just got it. I just customized it. I rarely rode it on the street. CRF 150Rs wasn't cheap. It was $3,500, $3,500 US dollars, plus all the little graphic kits, the little kit. Bro, I had a couple grand in it between the bike itself and customization. And then I had the title. At least I was smart enough to have the title in my pocket. I learned my lesson with the bill of sale one. I try to buy bikes with titles. So, bro, that was like, and if I would have had that footage, with them trying to hit me off of it on Lehigh with the green Malibu, then me, and then the motorcycle cops, and then me going, the best scene was the scene when the cop with the white Crown Vic drove up on the sidewalk, and I juked him, and he swung the door open, and he tried to reach for me, bro. But I was like, this is like Matrix. Bro, it happened so fast. But shout out to Lex, because I had that conversation. God wanted me to have that conversation with Lex the previous week. God never wants you to break the law, but God wants the best for you. And I think God had me have that conversation with Lex because he instilled it in me. And in the past, in my younger years, when I was even young, a couple years before that, I had bought bikes. One time I bought an RM 125, Lex and G and Walt and Ramon, shout out to all of them. They came with me. We went on a dummy mission, 2.5 hours away, 3 a.m. That was the time when G's baby mom turned off his phone, and we was using his phone as GPS, and she turned off the phone. There was an argument, and she turned off the phone, and we ain't had no GPS. We was lost in the middle of nowhere. But they was all with me, and we was in this white creeper van. Ramon, shout out to Ramon. Ramon was the one that let us use his pop's van. He drove us. We picked up an RM 125, which is a Suzuki 125cc. For those of you guys who don't know the terminology, I picked up this bike. I think I traded two little hoagie bikes, a CRF 150, a CR. I think it was a CRF 110. It wasn't a 150. It was a 110cc F 4-stroke. It was like a kid's bike. I think I got it in a deal for some EVs and an amp that I traded somebody. They gave me $350 cash. They gave me these 2 hoagie bikes. Hoagies meaning the other one was an RM80, but they both needed work. So I kept the bread. I kept the $350. I took these 2 bikes and I traded these 2 bikes for a bigger bike, an RM125. That bike I had got, and a day or two later, I was riding around the way. I got pulled over by the police right on the corner of my block, right in front of the executive director of the nonprofit organization. If y'all remember the story when I had got booked at the corner store, at the Poppy store for my homie popping the tire and all that. If y'all watch that episode, then y'all know exactly who the executive director I'm talking about. She ran the organization. I actually got pulled over right in front of her house, but it was around the way from my block. And when the cops pulled me over, I showed them the Craigslist ad. I said, listen, I just picked this up. I just got it. I live right there. They let me go. And I took it home. So there were times where I obeyed and followed the law and stopped. And it depends on the cop. It depends on the scenario. That cop let me go and I took the bike and I was chilling. But from when I lost my bike on Beach Street and I got them tickets and they auctioned off my bike, that was a lesson well learned. I lost that money. I got tickets. I never got that bike back. So when I got this CRF 150R, I'm like, I can't lose it, bro. And I'm telling you, if I would have had that footage, bro, that whole cop chase, and then at the end, me coming outside, but I couldn't come outside with a camera on me. But still, bro, the only people who know that story are the people who were there. G, Rob, a couple homies out there. Lex heard half of it. Lex was on the toilet. Lex got the second half of the story. He was the one that went out there with my title. But they'll tell you I was sweating, bro. Listen, I normally follow the law, bro. You know what I mean? But from there on out, I always run. I'm sorry. And even when I used to be on my micro go-karts, bro, it was like cat and mouse. If they saw me, like I would just bust a U-turn. I would duck. I would hide behind cars. Living for the world, bro. Like that could have went bad. I could have got caught. I could have got hit by a car. I could have injured someone. I could have, and if they would have got me for evading arrest, they would have more than likely locked me up for evading arrest. You know, that's, woo, bro. Damn, I felt the adrenaline right now. Like, yo, yo, that's crazy, y'all. Listen, stay safe, stay blessed, stay tuned, and until the next episode, stay holy.